Good day, grade 9. So before we start our lesson, I want you to get your pen and a copy of your module para habang nagdi-discuss ako, pwede kayong mag-jot down ng notes. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to apply the rules involving positive integral exponents to zero and negative exponents. So to start, what is integral exponent? So integral exponent is an exponent that is a whole number and a positive number. So pag sinabi nating whole number, nag-i-start yun saan? Sa 0, 1, 2, 3, to positive infinity. At kapag sinabi naman nating positive numbers, nagsisimula ito sa 1, 2, 3, to positive infinity. So, ibig sabihin, kapag sinabi nating positive integral exponents, ito ay mga exponents which are non-negative numbers. So, let us have a review of the laws of exponents para mas maintindihan natin ano nga ba ang zero exponents and negative exponents. So, if a and b are real numbers and m and n are positive integers, we have the following laws of exponents. Number 1. For the product rule, this states that when multiplying two numbers that have the common base, you just have to retain the base and add their exponents. In symbols, that is a raised to m multiplied by a raised to n equals to a raised to m plus m. So, by example, x squared multiplied by x cubed is equal to x raised to 2 plus 3, simply x raised to 5. Next, we have the quotient rule. Quotient rule states that in dividing two exponentials having the common base, we just have to retain the common base and subtract their exponents. In symbols, that is a raised to m divided by a raised to n equals a raised to m minus n, given that a is not equal to 0 and m and n are greater than 0. However, for the quotient rule, meron yan dalawang cases. It could be m is greater than n or m is less than n. Sabi natin kanina, this m and n are the exponents. So let's say m is greater than n. So if the exponent of the numerator is greater than the exponent of the denominator, we just have to raise the common base to the positive difference of its exponents. By symbols, that is a raised to m divided by a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n, given that a is not equal to 0 and m is greater than n. So when the denominator or the exponent of the denominator is greater than the exponent of the numerator, we just have to get the reciprocal of the common base to the positive difference of its exponents. In symbols, a raised to m over n. So kapag mas malaki ang exponent ng denominator kaysa sa exponent ng numerator, we just have to get the reciprocal of the common base and express it as n minus m, given that a is not equal to 0 and n is greater than m. For the examples under the quotient rule, let us have x raised to 4 over x is equal to x raised to 4 minus 1, simply x cubed. Another example, let us have y squared over y raised to 5. So since the exponent of the denominator is greater than the exponent of the numerator, kukunin muna natin ang reciprocal ng common base, which is 1 over y, and then pag-subtractin lang natin ng exponent ng denominator sa exponent ng numerator. Simply, that is y raised to 5 minus 2, 1 over y cubed. We have power of a power rule. Anong meron kay power of a power rule? So, for power of a power rule, It states that in raising an exponential to a power, retain the base and multiply the exponents. So in symbols, that is a raised to m raised to n. Ibig sabihin, a factor is raised to an exponent raised to another exponent. So kapag ganito naman, ang gagawin natin is we have to multiply the exponents, a raised to mn. So for example, we have p raised to 3 raised to 4. So we just have to multiply the two exponents, which will give us p raised to 12. Okay, so for the fourth, so for power of a product rule, it states that in raising a term to a given power, the exponent indicating the power is multiplied by the exponent of every factor of the term. In symbols, we have a, b, quantity raised to m. Ibig sabihin daw, ang isang term ay na-erase sa isang exponent. At kung mayroon namang dalawang factor sa isang term, just like this one, ab, kailangan nating i-distribute ang exponent sa bawat factor ng term, which will give us a raised to m, b raised to m. So for example, we have a, b raised to 2. So this will give us a squared, b squared. However, merong mga example under ng power of a product rule kung saan meron na tayong mga factors inside the term na meron ng sariling exponent. Kagaya nito. Let's have 2x squared quantity raised to 3. Merong dalawang factor sa loob ng ating term kung saan ang isa doon ay meron ng sariling exponent. So, anong gagawin natin dyan? So, para dito, gagamit naman tayo ng power of a power rule. So, simply, that is 2 raised to 3 x squared times 3 or x squared times the power of 3. So, this will give us 2 raised to 3 is 8 x raised to 6. For the fifth one, we have power of a quotient rule. So, for power of a quotient rule, sabi dito, in raising an indicated quotient to a given power, multiply the exponent of each term of the numerator and denominator inside the parentheses to the power outside the parentheses. So, let's have a over b raised to m. Ibig sabihin, kailangan lang nating erase ang mga factors or yung numerator or denominator doon sa i-erase natin na exponent. So, this will become a raised to m all over b raised to m. So, let us have an example. For example, we have a over b raised to 4. Simply, this will become a raised to 4, b raised to 4. However, kagaya ng power of a product rule, meron din tayong mga example under ng power of a quotient rule kung saan meron na tayong numerator or kaya naman ay denominator na may sarili ng exponent. So, anong gagawin natin doon? Ganito lang yan. So, let's have x squared over 3y. For example, quantity raised to 2. Okay? So, kagaya nito, meron ng yung numerator natin, meron siyang sariling exponent. So, ang gagawin lang natin is we just have to multiply the power to another power. So, power of a power rule yun. That's x squared times squared. So, that is x raised to 4 all over. I-distribute natin yung exponent sa lahat ng factors or sa numerator or denominator inside the parentheses. So, that is 3 raised to 2. That is 9. Then, y raised to 2. That is y squared.